What is up, everybody? Hello, how are we doing today? We are doing good personally, but it's been a little while. What is this? Number 19? Number 20? It's one of the two. I don't recall. It's actually been almost a month, I think. We can look. And there's our answer. We're on number 18. We did Go Thunder a month ago. So yeah, it's been a month. That's crazy. But getting back to the topic at hand, we're gonna go ahead and do another one. So we're gonna do NANASHI today. It's gonna be very interesting. Now, there is a new demonic beast battle being Needhog in the game. So if you didn't see that video, there's gonna be more points. The total cap used to be 27, but now it's 30. Being you can get 3 points from Needhog. We kept it simple. If you can do floor 1, floor 2, and floor 3. We didn't actually add any intricates in there, because it's not worth it. The boss literally just came out this week, so we're not even gonna touch that yet. Probably never, actually. But yeah, it's fine. We just have to adjust, and we already did that in the last tier list update video 2 videos ago. Yeah, so if you didn't see that one, you didn't see the movements and the addings of rankings and stuff like that. So with that out of the way, now we get into NANASHI. Now, starting off with NANASHI's build, he isn't built fully yet for me. I haven't even touched his gear, but I have him HP defense. That's what you want to do for him, because he's not a damage dealer per se, but we can get into that when we get there. But yeah, I'm running him HP defense. I'll build his gear eventually. I'm just taking my sweet time. In terms of his cards, he has a single target card that no effect on rank 1, but at rank 2, it becomes a delete move, or a decreased ult gauge, and deletes a card at random. Very good, because not a lot of units in this game have delete cards, so NANASHI having that delete little effect is actually really good, especially if you're going against like a Gotha or something like that along the lines. And then at rank 3, he deletes 2 cards instead of the 1, and he also removes 2 ult gauges instead of 1. It's just a straight up upgrade from a level 2 to a level 3 in every way. On the other hand, his other card is a Despair AoE. Despair being, if you crit, you get 15% of diminished HP recovered upon a crit strike. So yeah, it's a pretty simple card, pretty simple AoE. Not the best AoE effect ever, but it's fine. We can get to his stats. Like, his crit chance is 62.9, so it's not the worst thing ever, but he's probably not going to crit anyone in the meta currently. So yeah, that Despair card is kind of useless. But on top of that, he has some decent pierce rate, resistance is terrible, regeneration rate is okay, crit chance is okay, crit damage is relatively low, actually. The crit damage is actually kind of low. Like, you're looking for a 200%, like somewhere in that range base crit damage for most people. And him being 175, and I have his cosmetics well, not all of them. I don't have all his cosmetics. Let me point that out. Like, his cosmetics aren't crazy. I have 3. Yeah, I don't even have his weapons. I'm missing what, 3% crit chance, and like none of this gives me crit damage. So yeah, his crit damage is gonna stay the same. It's a 175. Oh, hey, how you doing? Crit resistance, terrible, 50%. He's getting crit. Crit defense is 81%, so the crits won't hurt him as much as they should. They're not bad at all. You could probably use them on Liz, actually, weirdly enough. And then his recovery rate being 130. And his lifesteal 20%. Not bad at all. Solid stats in that's cap. They're not solid. They're pretty okay, not good, but not bad stats. They're somewhere in the middle right there. And on top of that, he has an Amplify Ultimate, which is honestly really good because of the way he works. Now, his passive. At the start of an ally's turn, applies a buff to allies with 2 or less cards, basically Champion Meliodas, how his effect works. And I think there's another character like that, but I'm not remembering. That isn't NANASHI, by the way. So if they have 2 or less cards on the team, they increase their max HP, crit resistance, and crit defense by 20%, which is pretty decent, pretty good tanking to an extent, but it only lasts for 1 turn. And additionally, reduces the attacker's ultimate gauge by 1 if they attack whoever has NANASHI's buff. So it's literally Arthur's stance with 3 buffs, basically. It's pretty good. So yeah, with his buff, he's given himself 3 buffs, which is going to power his amplify by 90%. So that's always fun. But now, since he's the new kid on the block in terms of the Holy Relic, his Holy Relic came out relatively recently. His Holy Relic increases unknown damage dealt, or increases unknown race allies basic stats by 30%. Crazy relic, crazy. Then increases defense-related stats of allies with 2 or fewer skills at the start of the ally's turn by 20% for 1 turn. That is a really good relic. Increases defense-related stats, bro. It's actually crazy. So if you do have his relic, that's an extra buff to his passive. So he is giving you 4 buffs for whoever has 2 or less cards on your team. And let's say that 90 just turned into a 120. That's 120% damage, which put him at like 1,000% multiplier on his ultimate. So his ultimate, being a single target, will probably obliterate. Not even gonna lie to you. So I'm very intrigued on how this man can play. We're not gonna play it obviously because I already saw how it went down in all these different scenarios. So we're just gonna go ahead and actually break them down because we've been here longer than usual. I know it's been a little minute. It's literally been a month. Okay, we gonna break this down a little bit longer than the old videos. We've improved on ourselves. Okay, we improved. Now, in terms of PvP, which is where we're gonna start this tier list off, he is in a very interesting spot, right? Don't mind the links. The links are just here. But this is probably one of his best teams to run if you have his Holy Relic. If you don't, you could probably run some other unknown units here and there, or just units in general. But since his Holy Relic caters to unknown units, and they all give base stats, Merlin gives base stats, Echidna gives base stats, Rem gives base stats, and now NANASHI's Holy Relic, yeah, this team is going to be the most tankiest team in the game, unironically. It's going to be a fun time. Now, in terms of PvP, if y'all don't remember, there's 3 points to PvP. 0 being you're just completely trash, unusable. 1 point being you're mid. 2 points being you're good. And 3 points being you're actually meta. And for this team specifically, being his best team in the game, this team can compete in top 4 teams in the game, maybe top 4, top 5 in that range. So I'm gonna give him 3 points for PvP, strictly because of this team. Because again, NANASHI isn't a damage dealer, so he's not gonna cater to doing the biggest numbers, but his support is unreasonably crazy. So he gets the free 3 points for PvP. I would definitely consider NANASHI a meta character, since his team is in the meta to an extent. Like, you can still lose to an Escanor and the melee, you already know, because they're just cheat codes. But in terms of just your normal, traditional team, this team is pretty much consistent. And I'm fine with that. So yeah, NANASHI, unironically, gets 3 points for being meta, in my opinion, in PvP. He just is. Now we move on to Deathmatch. Ignore the Area. This is my Red Demon Extreme and lower team, because why not? But you can still use this, just, use Blue Area instead for that extra cosmetic. Regardless, Deathmatch, I'm going to be ranking him as a support character because, again, he's not DPSing. He's not my main DPS when I look at Deathmatch. He is literally here to apply his buffs, which is 4, and he's just gonna snap. So, in Deathmatch, this is probably one of those good teams to use with NANASHI, because Raphtalia scales off of defense. NANASHI's relic gives him 20% defense-related stats, and on top of that, if you stance with Rimuru, it would be Naofumi, but he's not an unknown race, he's human, so he technically doesn't work in this little combination of things. But since I'm using Rimuru, I stance with him, and then if my Raphtalia has 2 cards, which 9 times out of 10 she would for turn 1, she obliterates quite easily and very efficiently. So since I'm ranking NANASHI as a support and not the DPS, he easily gets the 4 points for Deathmatch, because he just, with this team, Raphtalia carries hard because he's giving her 4 buffs, and all those buffs literally help her out relatively well. So yeah, NANASHI gets 4 points for Deathmatch. That's pretty easy. Now, to make the knighthood sweet and simple, I haven't even done mine yet, so don't mind me, but you already can see it. NANASHI, he is in the top team for this week's knighthood boss, and that's just counting this week. So therefore, he gets full points for knighthood boss, which If you didn't remember, it's 2. 2 being your meta, 1 being your good, 0 being you can't compete. And obviously, Nanashi is on every single team. So he easily gets the full 2 points for Knighthood Boss. It's just really easy. Now moving over to Rosvelger, Bird, Demonic Beast Battle. In terms of Nanashi's performance, we could talk about that a little bit. Nanashi, even with my HP defense, not even UART set, because Magelda is going to be on the team, like this is the team I'm running, right? I've been running this all day because I need my bird stuff for relics. Like I've been using Magelda, Trader Melly, Deanne, and Nanashi. Even though my Nanashi has 12,000 attack, because Magelda is giving me all stats and is allowing Nanashi to crit, even with my un-UR gear HP defense, Nanashi can hit damage cap on his ult. gotta be a little more specific. He can hit damage cap on his ult on every phase except for phase 4. It's very iffy, but if he can crit, he hits damage cap sometimes, but you gotta be really lucky. So I don't even like rely on that if you do plan on having fun with Nanashi for Bird. But overall, he is a very good unit. But he has one of those situations where he falls off the higher you go in floors. So when we're talking about can he make it to floor 3? Yes, he can. He can clear floor 3 actually. So since he's in that category already, it goes into, is he the top carry DPS? Is he the decent support? Or is he the ladder and he got carried through floor 3? And the answer to that, in all honesty, is that he didn't get carried. He was the decent support. Because again, we're using 2 characters, Magelda and Trader Melly, that relies on Amplify. Nanashi gives 4 buffs. Well, technically 3 because his relic doesn't work with anyone of the unknown race. So it works for Magelda, but not Melly, but you know. So he's giving 3 to 4 buffs. Easy. Like you can literally one turn every phase with Nanashi. So it's safe to say, like even though like he's not the DPS, so I can't give him the full 5 points for Bird, it's really easy to give him the 3. Not the 3, the 4. Wait. Yeah, the 4. I was right. I had to go check real quick. 4 being decent support, 3 being you got absolutely carried. Yeah. So it's easy to give him the 4 points for Bird, like relatively quickly too. So we don't got to worry about that. Now we move. Now moving on over to Deer. This is my team that I use for Deer. Do not ask why. Every time I beat Deer, I randomize my red unit and I randomize my green unit every single time, just because how easy it is with Jormungandr and our Holy Relic. It's a cakewalk. That being said, Nanashi, blue, so he has to take that roll, and it's already good because he's not double tapping on the green, which is fine. And also, Nanashi has 2 attacks, so he's already viable for Deer, right? But now we get into his damage and can he do the floor 3? And the answer to that, to make it really easy for you, is yeah. As the blue DPS, he can get you through all of Deer. I didn't do it with this team exactly. I didn't have Merlin when I beat it with Nanashi. I was using Chandler, but again, I randomize my units all the time. So in theory, I could probably beat it with this team because Jormungandr is so utterly broken. But his DPS is good. He's even buffed 60% by Jormungandr, so he is literally chilling. And when he gets his ult, his Amplify goes crazy, like insanely crazy actually. Like unironically, it's really good for some reason. So yeah, he does his job as the blue character. So I'm gonna have to give him 5 points for Deer, probably. Like actually, because he's not even a support character in this sense. He is literally the only person that can do damage on the blue phase, and he actually does a decent amount of damage. So I'm gonna give him the 5. I'm gonna just have to give it to him. It wouldn't make any sense not to, right? Like he just deserves it at that point. And like my stats are low. Like look at my attack and my HP. I don't have him UR, and he still does really good damage. If I were to UR him with attack crit, he would go crazy. But I'm not gonna do that because that's a waste of my time. But yeah, bro, I'm gonna give him the 5 points for Deer. It's just that easy. Now, Nanashi has been going absolutely crazy in these last categories. He got max points in PvP, max points in Deathmatch, max points in Knighthood Boss. Not Now he's at close to max on bird, and he has max in deer. So technically right now, NANASHI is sitting at an easy high tier placement. And it's hilarious to see this, because I didn't expect him to place this high. But he's just that good with his Holy Relic now. Like, he makes unknown units crazy. It's insane. Like, now I'm actually going in depth with this. NANASHI's actually broken. Like, it's insane. So, yeah, bro, let's go ahead and talk about Doms now. This is where he starts to fall off. He cannot compete in dogs whatsoever. He can do phase 1 because phase 1, or floor 1, because floor 1 is completely easy now. And technically speaking, everyone on my list can do phase 1, but I haven't updated that part yet. Or I keep saying phase. Everyone can do floor 1, but I haven't updated everyone's stats yet for that, because that's a lot of people I gotta go through. So I'm gonna have to do that on my own time, off screen. I'll just edit it on my own, and then I will explain if anything crazy happened with that 1 point difference for some reason. So yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, he gets to floor 1, but again, floor 2 and floor 3, you still need these very specific characters to beat it, even though it's significantly easier now with the current nerfs that happened. He still can't compete in floor 2 or floor 3 though. So he gets the 1 point for being able to do floor 1, and that's about where that ends there, like really easily. Now when it comes to the miscellaneous category, we already know how this goes. It is separated between 4 different, is it 4 or 3? Yeah, it's 4, I'm tripping. It's separated between 4 different categories, which is final boss, farming, tower of trials, and being god tier in a specific lane. Now, when we can break all of these down. Tower of trials, I believe he can work. There's probably a floor in there where he be pretty good. I'm pretty sure that goes for every character, because there's just a lot of weird and fun gimmicks in tower of trials. So like almost every character can be used in that situation. Farming, he cannot be used in farming. Obviously, no, he's not the best. Final boss, he was used in final boss Tarmio? Was it Tarmio or Ludosio? Ludosio. It was Ludosio. Yeah. So he is good for final boss, because you needed him if you wanted a high score in final boss Ludosio. And then finally we have, is he god tier in a specific lane? I would have to say yes, to be completely honest. Let me think about that one. Hold on, let me come back to you. Okay, thinking about it after a long little debate with myself. NANASHI is god tier in a specific lane, and that lane is being a back unit support character that can, like, gives physical buffs to your frontline units. No one else does that except for Champion Meliodas. But NANASHI does it better, because Champion Meliodas' buffs are not buffs, they're perma buffs. So actually, yeah, he gets 3 points in miscellaneous, which is like a rare sight. NANASHI's actually crazy. And this isn't even me, like, this is just being a true tier list, because I rate every single character fairly. They all get rated the same way. And just from the stats that I'm seeing, he's actually crazy now. And it's hilarious. But yeah, bro, people are gonna take this crazily when they hear that NANASHI is in the top tiers of tiers, and I'm gonna be like, okay, buddy, I guess you just playing the wrong game. But yeah, all right. Now we get to the new stuff, which is only one thing, and that thing is Needhogger. Yes, sir. We got a new demonic beast, which means we get to raid him in demonic beast, and this one, I'm happy to say. Like, I'm really happy to say this. He sucks. Because NANASHI was going too crazy, okay? I think NANASHI can actually get to the top of the leaderboard with these stats. But unfortunately, he cannot compete in this new one. Barely anyone can. You have to have the RNG of God to compete in this shit. So he actually does get 0 points for Needhog, which is the first category he gets no points in, which is actually funny. But yeah, bro, that's gonna sum that up as relatively fast as possible. Like, just to keep it short and sweet, like, literally. So now that puts Needhog at, let's see, let's go count real quick, 22. This man is at 22 points. 22 points puts him in a very interesting spot. Okay. NANASHI's crazy. Alright, my bad. Hold on. Let's go see where he is. This is fairly interesting. He literally has. Okay, let's just break it down a bit. Since we're at the end, let's just break it down one more time for the people that skipped all the way to this point. Hello, how you doing? So, my thoughts. I'm very impressed with NANASHI. Let me just find him before I get going. He is right there. I see. Pull him up to the top at least so I can see him when I put him down. Now, let's just go back through it for the short cakes of it all the catalogs. I mean, PvP, I consider him meta. He's really good. He makes the unknown team really, really good, and so he gets 3 points from PvP. Deathmatch, he is blue, so he can only participate in Red Demon. Red Demon is really easy, and since he is being rated as a support character, he allows for one-turn kills if you're using Rimuru, Raftalia, and NANASHI with a attack buffer in the back if you want. But I'm using Darieri. But yeah, so he allows for one shots, which means as a support ranking, he gets the max score for deathmatch. Going next, he's Knighthood Boss. He is literally in the top teams of Knighthood Boss currently that are out right now. So he easily gets max score for Knighthood Boss. And going into Bird, he gets 4 points because he's not the main DPS for Bird, but he is a decent support. So he gets 4 points instead of the full 5. Deer, he is the blue DPS that is needed. And me with my HP defense un-UR'd is able to hit relatively hard with him. So he gets the full 5 points from Deer. Wolf, he can do stage 1, but he can do floor 1, but he cannot do floor 2 or 3. So he gets 1 point from Wolf. And then the miscellaneous category being farming, Tower of Trials, final boss, and being god tier in the specific lane. He excelled in all of those spots, but farming. He is good at Tower of Trials. Every unit is. He is good in final boss. He was literally the meta character for final boss Ludocio. And he is good at one specific lane, being the only unit in the game that can backline buff with actual buffs. I'm not talking that Champion Meliodas trash. We're talking about actual genuine buffs to help out amplify characters. And Unknown Race has a lot of amplify characters. So that is a very positive godlike stat right there. I'm not even gonna cap to you. And then on the end of it all, the new Demonic Beast battle with Needhogger, he sucks. He can't do 4-1, so he gets 0 points from that. And altogether, that adds up to 22 points, which puts him in S+ tier. Yes, NANASHI is in S+ tier. And when you look at my tier list, you'll be thinking like, NANASHI's not better than Echidna, Bon, Merlin, Margaret. But he is. He literally is. Because like you can say those things for a general standpoint, but NANASHI as a general unit is better than everyone under him in terms of how useful they are in each piece of content. Literally. He's useful in PvP, he's useful in Deathmatch, he's useful in Knighthood Boss, Bird, and Deer. And he has a lot of miscellaneous little things that he's good with too. The only things in the game that he sucks with are Wolf and the new boss. Other than that, you can use NANASHI anywhere, which is actually crazy. And that's kind of what the S+ tier is. You can use these characters anywhere except for like maybe 1 or 2 pieces of content. Freyr, this is why he got moved up to 7 Deadly Sins rank, is because he can be used in the new Demonic Beast battle. And he was already useful prior to that. So Freyr is just crazy. But now NANASHI apparently is in that same category. And I didn't think that was going to happen, to be completely honest with you. Going into this video, I was expecting him to be like low S, high A. But he's an S+. That's crazy. So I'm actually shocked with these results. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, that's actually funny. Because I'm looking at my list, and this is a fair tier list, by the way. I'm not rating people from their PvP standpoint. I'm straight up rating every single character the exact same way on how they can operate in each of the same pieces of content. And this is just how it turned out. That is really funny to me. But yeah, bro, that's how it's going to end the video. NANASHI, S+ tier. That man is a sleeper. It's crazy. And I know exactly what this thumbnail is going to be called, or the title of this video. So there's that. I had a good time with this one. I can't wait to start doing more of these videos. We are back with the true tier list, and this is number 18. So yeah, be sure to like, subscribe, bro. we are gonna be here a while. I do need to get in contact with Nexus though, because this is his tier list and he hasn't updated it since Demon Cusack came out. So yeah, he's got some work to help. Because if he does update it, I'm gonna do Thonar next. I'm just gonna tell you now. So with all that being said, I've enjoyed myself. I hope y'all enjoyed my my talk, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.